Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. With the price of meat, of kosher meat being so expensive, and even lahavdol in the Goyish market, they like kosher meat because it is cleaner and it was salted, the blood is taken out, and many reasons why they might enjoy kosher meat better. So it gives you more feeling for the halacha of basar shenesalim min ha'ayin. Basar shenesalim min ha'ayin means that kosher meat, for it to stay kosher, it always has to have an eye that knows where it was the whole time, and just in case, at any point, it might have been swapped. Now, originally, if it wasn't watched full time, the chashash was that a oiriv, a raven, or an animal came and swapped them. But as it is with an animal swapping it, we also have a question by deliveries, giving it to a guy, or giving it, if it's not full time under the supervision of a yid, how do you know that in between it wasn't swapped? So there are great halachas how to avoid that, and we know the basar shenesalim min ha'ayin, if it wasn't protected, it's taka aser, and to make sure the protection. And if you can't be there always, there has to be chesamos, seals, 2 seals. It should be difficult for a guy or anyone or anybody or anything to break into it and exchange it. So, and the law of without the shnei chesamos, there is taka this concern of who knows this is the exact meat that you left there. So there is a shtickle controversy about when a person takes a long flight and he doesn't bring along his own food, he's relying on the food of the plane. So there are 2 questions that everybody discusses about the meals on the planes. A, let's say, and we hope that the meal is 100% kosher because it has a very good, high-level, strict kashrus supervision. But now, to make where they cooked the meal originally, wherever it was, bring it to the plane and have it served to you, there's a long period of time where it's in the hands of goyim. So you have to make sure that it's shnei chesamos. It's wrapped twice and wrapped well. So, next, they don't give you a cold piece of chicken or a cold cuts. What they do is they warm it up. This is a whole different shaila. How are they warming it up? As far as we all know, and all the planes, whatever airline there may be, doesn't have a designated kosher microwave to warm up the kosher food. So they must be warming it up in the same microwave or the same heating equipment that's heating up the goyish non-kosher food. How does that work? How is that allowed? So again, we are relying on the fact that because it's wrapped twice and there is no liquid that's all around, so even if they're in the same microwave, there might be goyish food warming and the Yiddish food warming. Let's say even if that's happening, it's like the din of shtei k'deiros noigay zu b'zu, where 2 pots touch, kosher and non-kosher. Let's say they're even very hot, they're piping hot, but the pots are touching and no liquid in between, there is no transfer of taste. So if it's wrapped in silver foil or whatever twice, and there is no moisture, there is no liquid, so there won't be any transfer of taste. All right, we passed the second issue. A, how did it come to the plane? B, how did it warm up in the plane? They bring you to your seat, your meal. Now, you're not the only one on the plane. There are other people all around you. The person sitting right next to you is not Jewish. So he opens up his meal, he eats, and you open up your meal and you eat. What happens if you want to stand up and get another drink? You want to go back and ask for a glass of water. If the question becomes, may you stand up to get water or get something from the back of the plane, leave your supper, your dinner, uncovered, so it doesn't have any more shnei chesamos, and now the guy is sitting right next to you. Is there any chashash that he swapped his piece of food with your piece of food? It's interesting that this is a halacha that is discussed in Mechaber and Siman Kuf Yud Ches, Yeridea Siman Kuf Yud Ches, If Yud Aleph. Obviously, it's not discussing about planes, but over there it's discussed. It goes like this: Yisrael v'ayvigachavim sheshavsu beis k'teres zuhu etzezu. Vayid and lahavdul a guy were cooking pot next to a pot in the same oven, the same heating equipment. Zeh basar shchuta, the Yid is obviously cooking kosher food. V'zeh basar nevela, and the guy is cooking non-kosher food. Mutter, there is no worry because I'm here. The pots didn't transfer taste, and there's nothing to worry about. Ve'ein lachush, and maybe be worried. Shema kishehichzer Yisrael panav, maybe the Yid had to walk away a minute or turn around. Maybe during that moment, hechlif ha'evik shchuta benevela. Maybe for that minute or two that he turned around, the guy took out his piece and put it into the water, took out your piece and put it in his pot. Says the Mechaber, in the short period of time like that, we're not worried. Afilu im shel Yisrael meshubach. Even if your food, the kosher food, tastes better, and there is reason to believe that, and sometimes he would have done it, we are not worried about it in such a short time. Vafilu pia megula, even if it's open, mutter. So you see clearly from the Mechaber that if the person is there and it's just turning away for a minute or so, it's not a problem. However, the Darkei Tshuva and Sif Katan Ayin Vav brings the Pri Toyar, that the Pri Toyar says that in the Artzos Hamayrev, in the west place, Sha'akum loy mirtas, where goyim are not afraid to do whatever they want, b'chol gavnei aser. If they're not afraid, then you always have to be concerned they might have swapped it. And some poskim say that we've heard stories that it did happen on a plane. The person, a Yid, stood up, and a guy saw a nice piece of food. Looks kosher Jewish food, looked very delicious, and he just swapped his for his. So uvechein is the clear halacha that you're allowed to, as long as you don't leave for long. But yet the Darkei Tshuva was still machmer.